Hi everyone, welcome to Data Minds podcast. Today we have Dennis van Rooijen.
Thank you. Yeah.
From Netherlands. He's working in GitLab as director of data, right?
That's correct.
Welcome to Serbia, welcome to Belgrade.
Thank you very much, thanks for having me.
You had a lecture today, also probably busy day. Have you managed to listen for some lecture, network? How do you see this event?
Now, I like it very much. It is remarkable to see how many people get it together over here. I think there's a very good vibe, so kudos to the organization. I think they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, Alexander and the team are working really hard to make this happen. I'm here for 5-6 years. I don't know which conference is this, and it is really good to see it in real time how it is growing.
Yeah.
But maybe are you from Amsterdam or somewhere else?
No, I'm not from Amsterdam. I'm living in a small town near Utrecht, which is in the center of the Netherlands, about 65,000 people. But I worked 5 years as a consultant for Ernst & Young and EY at EY. That was in Amsterdam, so been there many times.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, are you following AI and data scene in Netherlands? How do you how does it go? How are conferences there, meetups there? Are they crowded? Are developers scared?
I think a lot of developers indeed see AI maybe as a threat. I don't see that. I think it is an opportunity, especially when you're living in and working in the data world. That is an opportunity from a data standpoint. AI requires data, AI requires good data. So for us, it is a good opportunity to, let's say, empower AI with great data. At the same time, you also can take benefit of it, right? With coding help, co-pilot, stuff like that. At GitLab, we have GitLab-u, which is also a coding assistant. It relies on good data. So I see both as an opportunity from a working perspective, but also as an acceleration perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a good topic. We will get to your lecture, which is distributed team and managing distributed teams. But you mentioned that you see Copilot as a great opportunity to help us out, copilots, coding copilots basically. And Cassie on keynote had this really provocative sentence, who will get replaced by AI? And everybody expected a lot of repetitive jobs, etc. But her point, at least what I understood, was that AI tools are progressing. They will become more accessible to a wider audience. So potentially younger developers or developers will be threatened from AI. What are your thoughts on that? Also, have you tried coding assistance, and what are your experiences with it?
I don't see it like that, honestly. I don't think it will replace juniors from junior coders, because if you take a look back in history, right, when the computer was emerging, we said the same, computers will take over the world, we as a human being will become obsolete. While I think if you take a look at these days, we are shorter on stuff than ever before. It's only an enabler. I think it will also be an enabler for junior coders, media coders or senior coders. So please don't see it as a threat, see it as an opportunity. I think with AI, generative AI, you can be much more efficient. You can deliver much better quality code at the end of the day. So I would like to say to everyone who feels threatened by AI, don't feel threatened, see it as an opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I see it as for less experienced people, I see it as a learning opportunity.
100%.
I think her argument was basically, if AI assistant generates some code and I don't know that code, I don't know if that is good or not, and there is this problem. If I push this to production, maybe it won't work. Maybe I will create bugs. Maybe I will create even potentially complicated situations. So I can relate to that. And her argument regarding more experienced people was that experienced guy will see if it is good or not conceptually, and he will know what he is doing. But maybe for younger colleagues, use it as a learning tool.
100%. Use it as a learning tool. Use it as an accelerator. And take it as a weapon for yourself.
Within GitLab, do you know how many people within the team are using AI tools? Not only coding assistants, maybe like in marketing, generating images, generating content, in to productivity tools which are based on AI.
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers, but we at GitLab, we are famous of dog fooding our own product. So right now we have released GitLab-u, which is still in beta. Each and everyone in the company is encouraged to use that and to try that out and give feedback of the GitLab-u that we are using. At GitLab, we also have a mission of everyone can contribute. That means that everyone can contribute to GitLab. That means that everyone can contribute with GitLab and that everyone can contribute at GitLab. So yeah. I don't have the exact numbers, but we encourage each and everyone from marketing to sales, but also the backend developers as well, my team members, to use GitLab-u, provide feedback and make it only better for our clients.
In SmartCat, I think a lot of people are talking about coding assistants and AI tools, but I don't see many people using it actually. So I think percentage of usage is not similar to what people are talking. Maybe there is like a trust issue or something like that, but yeah.
Yeah, and it has to grow, and people need to become familiar with it, I would say. And I think as a code developer, as a software developer, it is super hard to switch overnight. Develop it from scratch yourself, and then the next day you need to rely on an AI model. Yeah, well, I think that has to grow. You have to change your way of working. And there's a lot of buzz around there. But like everything else, it has to grow, and I think it will emerge over time. Yeah,
we're, I think, animals of habit, right? Yes, and not only correct. Coding, everything, changing our habits is hard. So, but we're living in a fast-paced world. I wanted maybe to touch upon a really subject that is out there in the news, OpenAI, but not about to comment about Sam Altman and everything. But this made me think whether we are going in the right pace or we are rushing things. So in which front are you? Do you think that that this can be like stopped or slowed in order to be more ethical, more to test more before releasing to production? Or you think we are going at the right pace and innovation cannot be stopped?
No, it cannot go fast enough for me, honestly. I like to move forward. But it needs to be done responsibly, right? Yeah. So indeed, the ethics you need to take into account, quality you need to take into account. At GitLab we have a value which is called iterate. So don't go big steps, make smaller steps. Each and every day make new steps. And I think slowing down should not be the goal. Pacing up should not be the goal. It needs to be done responsibly. And yeah, I would not say slow down, nor I would say speed up. But like you said, if you don't do it right, there is a big threat ahead of us. So we need to be there with all of us together to do it in a responsible way, like I said.
Yeah, I fully agree. Can you tell me about your talk? You talked about, if I'm not mistaken, managing globally and fully distributed team.
Yeah, that's correct. I talked about leading indeed a globally distributed data team. My data team is distributed across the globe. So my team spans from the west coast of the United States to the east coast of India and everything in between. I try to give the audience an understanding how you lead such a team. So instead of being at an office, sitting alongside each other at a desk, how do you manage people in other time zones? How do you manage people with a different cultural background? And what are the success factors that I have implemented in my team to set my team members up for success?
Mm-hmm. And what is the biggest advantage, except follow the sun model when you need to do maintenance and stuff? And what is biggest disadvantage?
That is a big advantage, right? If you can touch on that a little bit. I also gave the example. Let's say if you have an issue that takes you 24 hours to solve, we have it solved the next business day. So if someone comes with an issue right now, tomorrow it's solved. If you're in a traditional organization and you need to spend 24 hours, you're 3 to 4 days into the week, and maybe then it's already too late. So that's indeed, follow the sun is a big advantage. What I also said in my talk, from a personal perspective, it's also fantastic to work with such a diverse group of people. Yeah. You're here, the good and the bad and the ugly. Personally, what happens in such a country. So professionally, it is fantastic, but from a personal perspective, I also love to work with so many diverse backgrounds.
Do you have thought maybe, I don't know how you are organized in GitLab, but I see many organizations, someone have a central organization for data team and then a lot of feature teams being pretty much customers of data team. The other type of organization is data mesh, what they are pushing like microservices for data organization, and then every feature team is owner of their data plus APIs and exposing them. Do you have thoughts about those two? Are you familiar with data mesh? Are you experimenting with it?
Now we talk indeed about data mesh. I think it is a very interesting topic. I wonder if when a data mesh, that's the thing I'm struggling with, when a data mesh becomes a good weapon to use in your organization. Is that after 1,800 people? Is it after 2,000 people? Is it after 25,000 people, right? I think there's a certain trade-off that you have to make because, in my opinion, a data mesh is not a silver bullet. It does not solve all your problems.
No.
At GitLab at the moment we use a hub and spoke model. So we have a central data team where we align closely with all the distributed data teams inside the functions, like marketing, sales, finance, people, stuff like that. I think for the organization that we have at GitLab and the size of the organization at the moment, that's a good model. But maybe indeed in the future, as soon as GitLab grows and maybe also the data footprint grows, you may need to take a look at the data mesh kind of architecture, organization, operational model.
Generally, data mesh, I think, is organizational / technical solution.
100%, yeah.
Friend of ours is Scott, who is US guy who has data mesh radio, and he is one of the biggest voices in data mesh, and he relocated to Rotterdam. So in case you want to explore it further, maybe you can give me a shout and I can connect you too. Regarding centralized data model, friend of mine is working in a big pharma company. He's in sales department. And they're experimenting for the next best action. So they want to understand which pharmaceutical product should be sold next. And when they have like bronze, silver, gold model, Delta Lake, and when they request from centralized data model, data team some features that they need, they get a date next year or something like that, next 6 months, etc., etc. So this data team becomes really under a lot of pressure. Do you feel that pressure in GitLab? Probably not, because you said for your size of the company, this is the right kind of organization.
Of course, we also feel that pressure. Sometimes we also stretch pretty thin, and then you need to choose, and then you need to set the right priorities. What we did do recently is that we introduced a data leadership forum. So each and every month, data leadership forum gather together. In the data leadership forum, we have all the data leaders in the central data team, as well the data leaders in all the functions. What we do over there, we align on prioritization between the different business functions. And we also hear firsthand from the functions what the big initiatives are going on and what's coming up. So with that group of people at the moment, I think we can align pretty well on the right priorities. But there will be a moment where we indeed have multiple P1 stuff that we have to solve, and we don't have the people. And then indeed you have to say no, and it can take months, weeks before they have it. The good thing, I think, always about business people, they will find their way, right? If they need the data, they will get the data. If you don't help them, no problem, we do it ourselves. The only problem comes afterwards. How do we get everything again together, and how do we ensure certain governance and quality? So at the end of the day, it will hit you in the back, and hopefully we are still in front of that. But yeah, definitely someday when the company matures and becomes bigger, that will be a bottleneck. 100%.
So back to my example with Delta format and bronze, silver, gold layer. In this pharmaceutical company, happened exactly that, what you are mentioning. Because of slowness, sales team pushed to get access from the bronze layer, which is raw layer and shouldn't be accessed by outside of the central organization. And analysts from sales team got access to bronze layer and started experimenting with dirty data pretty much. So so definitely this is a problem.
And that's the risk. And like I said, that people will find their way, the good way or the bad way. And sometimes it goes good. Most of the times, at the end of the day, we'll find out that it wasn't the right decision. But yeah, that's a hard things to solve unless you get 20 more people in the team, for example. But you also need to do it carefully.
Great. This was all of my questions. Dennis, do you have any other things that are important to say to Serbian audience, Belgrade audience, Balkan audience?
No, not yet. I arrived here yesterday late. This evening we go into the city center to have a good dinner. So if you have a good restaurant as a recommendation, I'm open to.
Yeah, so, let's take this offline.
Let's
definitely.
Do that, yeah. I'm looking forward to visit Belgrade, and from what I've seen right now, I love it. Good people, so good stuff over here.
Yeah. Usually they say that Belgrade is a good place for nightlife. So I guess parties tonight or the other night will be good.
That's good to hear. Let's see if I'm going to attend it.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Serbia. Thank you for the time, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.